Morning, everybody. Kevin Hunt, Dragon Dart Racing and videos. Hey, I just want to do a little how-to thing today. I hope everybody's had a great Christmas and holiday season. So I'm making something here. I thought you might get more entertainment out of it than information. I'm going to make a homemade cool can. I run one on my white dart, and I haven't put one on the blue car yet. But last summer we was racing the World Series. It really was a hot day, and I really didn't notice any vapor locking, but something didn't seem quite right. In fact, it was so hot I couldn't even touch the carburetor to make an adjustment. So I'll walk you through a little on the homemade cool can.
Of course, you all know I'm real old school. I take a little flack, and people kid me a little bit. I still run the column shifter, and as you can see, I got my line lock button mounted right to the column shifter.
Oh, and I also get a lot of static for running a flat tappet cam, So I'm pretty old school. It's a flat tappet solid cam. Now recently I've had the heads off this, so I'll let you know I took every lifter out and looked at it very carefully, and they're both just, all of them are just nice and flat and smooth and not ate up. So Valvoline VR1 oil and a little extra zinc from the old Lucas family, keeping it going. I made a cool can years ago for my white dart, and it worked out pretty well. In fact, this PVC pipe that I use from Menards is the same size as the old fuel canister. In '76, they were just starting to do a little bit emissions, and so I just mounted it with the fuel canister bracket. It turned out pretty slick. Well, let's get started. I'll show you what I've done so far, and I'll kind of walk you through the process of what I did. So I just took a trip to Menards. Got this PVC stuff. This is all drain stuff for sewers and whatnot, and plumbing stuff. Little cap, little 4-inch, just all 4-inch stuff. Got the lid here, and then I bought for draining the water as the ice melts, bought a little drain cock. You can get them at an auto parts store, but they had them there at Menards. Compressor tanks have the same thing. They're all brass. And of course the solvent to fuse it together. I'll use it one time and that stuff will dry up before I use it again. Then I did have this aluminum fuel line already, and I've been working on coiling it now, and that's what I'm getting ready to finish up before we mount it. I just use this old cheapy little thing. If you're a real bender, if you're real careful, you can do it. As you can see, bend it pretty tight without kinking it, and I'm just getting ready to finish this one line here. As you can see what I've done here already, I've got I'm not going to bore you with every last little thing I do, because I'm not going to make a 2-hour video, but I got my coils in here, got the inlet, outlet, and I just got through making a little bubble on that for the slip fit. I'm going to get ready to do that on the other one, and then I'm going to take the solvent and fuse it together, and then I'm just going to epoxy these and these. And then after I get this put on, I'll have the drain cock put in here, and I'll epoxy that in too. So what I'm going to do right now is do a little bubble on that so my slip fit hose will fit on there nice and tight. This is my double flaring tool. I'm just going to clamp this around on the 3/8. Had a little session. I did this in class to show the kids. If you ever want to know how high, how far you're supposed to stick this through to get the right bubble, you use the edge of this right here where my finger's tapping. That's your height gauge. You just go up even with that, and then you tighten it. Tighten both of them. And we're just doing the double flare, we're just doing the first step, and that makes a nice little bubble on it. So when you use a slip fit hose that I use, it'll puts a nice little barb on it for you, so it'll stay on there. This is a Matco one. It works really well. Eastwood's got a flaring tool that's pretty slick too. See? And now you got a nice, if I can get it on there, I got both of them. So you got a nice bubble on there.
Okay, now we'll put the flaring tool on there again, on this other one. All right, I've got this together now. I put the solvent on there and pushed it down together. That's about as far down as I want it to go. Got the lines sticking through. And now I'm going to take some JB epoxy and I'm going to fill this all in with epoxy. Alright, I got my 2 parts squeezed out here. I'm mixing it up. Alrighty, that ought to be about right. No, a little bit more. Just like Bondo. Alrighty. I left the bottom cap off until I get this thing all epoxy. I'm gonna put some epoxy on the inside here, on the bottom too, and then I'll put that solvent and put the bottom cap on when I'm sure this is all set up good. And like I said, this is just something I kind of like to do. It's probably not even necessary, but you know, what else are we gonna waste our money on, right? Get that all filled in there, like so. And we'll let that set up real good. We'll do a little, of course we'll test it before we put it on the car. Okay, I got both those epoxy's setting up right now. Now before I glue the cap on the bottom, I'm going to put a drain valve in it, just like our one that goes on a compressor, air compressor at your home or your radiator. So I just take this, I'll put it right in the middle there, and I'll epoxy that in too. Just take your fancy step bit, put you a hole in the middle. Don't want it any bigger than I need to. I like to thread it in and then epoxy it. Oh, a little bit more, a little more. One more step. You want to make sure you sneak up on it. You don't want it to be too big. Like the old saying, guy said, I drilled it twice and it's still too big. So there we go. Just a little bit more. Alright, there you go. I'll start that in, epoxy it, and I'll be back. Okay, I got that in, got the epoxy on it, and now I'm going to put it, seal it up. It'll be the last look of it like this. So I'm going to seal it up, get my solvent here around the thing here. Put this all so it can melt, fuse it all together. And there you have it. A little homemade cool can. Believe it or not, there's almost 5 feet of line in there. So on the real hot summer days, hey, it's the old chicken soup thing. It can't hurt. So there it is. All set to go. I'll get me a little bracket. Just mount it right up into the car, and we'll put her on and give her a try. Like I said before, it's like one of my favorite car modification shows. full custom garage. If Victor was in here, he'd say, "Oh, Ian, that's exactly what I wanted that to look like. That's perfect." I'll probably end up mounting it somewhere in this area right here, and then just make a little modification to the fuel lines, and it'll be good to go. Thanks for watching. As always, thank you for checking in with Dragon Dart Racing, Kevin Hunt. And if you like what you see, hit that little subscribe button down there by that little dragon. Thank you. I hope everybody watched till the end. This is the finished product. Got this little bracket on there. And there that is. And there's the fuel lines all hooked up. And I'm putting the lid back on it. Like so. There's that. So that is it. So we'll wait till the hot summer weather. I took a piece of an old jug and made a little trough so when it drains it goes right up to the ground so they get in every little nook and cranny. So I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration and this little how-to thing of making something that you probably don't even need.